Jude is giving us 3 Old Testament judgments as examples to help us understand God's judgment that was preordained for those who reject his word and deny him. Now, we looked at this first Old Testament illustration and discovered that no matter who we are, if we do not believe and we rebel against God, he will destroy us. Now, that brings us to verse 6 and 7 of Jude to look at the second Old Testament illustration, which is about a certain group of angels. And Jude tells us that these angels did not keep their own domain. Instead, they abandoned their proper abode. Well, what was the result? Well, Jude tells us that now God is keeping them in eternal bonds in darkness for the judgment of the great day. Well, if you and I would go to verse 7, we see that Jude also compares them to Sodom and Gomorrah. He says that in the same way as Sodom and Gomorrah, these angels indulged in gross immorality and went after strange flesh. Well, what's he talking about? Well, you and I need to go in and look at the cross-reference of Genesis 6, which unlocks this event for us that Jude and Peter talked about. Now, the first thing that we need to understand is why Moses, who is the author of Genesis, didn't use the word angels. Instead, he uses the term sons of God, and he says the sons of God came into the daughters of men. Well, many argue that this is the sons of Seth who came to the daughters of Cain. And then others argue that this is kings who wanted to build harems. But if you and I look closely and let Scripture interpret Scripture, we would see that in Genesis 11, verse 5, Moses actually uses the term sons of men for men. So he must have meant the sons of God to mean something else. Well, Job is our commentary and tells us that the sons of God are angels in heaven. In fact, go in and do a word search in GODcha. Type in sons, and everywhere sons of God is found in the Old Testament will show up and show you it refers to angels. Everywhere except Hosea. And that refers to the children of Israel will become sons of God. Now in the New Testament it's totally different. It does refer to men, but it's men who've been redeemed by God. Chew on that and then go to the next video for a little more.